Hey MVPs, Rico Knows here. Going to talk to you guys about UFC 301. It's the main event. Alexandre Pantoja versus Steve Erceg. And when I make these videos, my predictions aren't always free. This one is. The main event's free. Every single fight card. The first fight of the night's generally free, but you don't get to see the whole card, right? You don't get to see all my other predictions. That's saved for the Patreon, for the MVPs, and we're hitting at a pretty incredible clip. If you see a lock on it, believe in it. We're hitting at about 78% on the locks. So nonetheless, we're sitting here looking at this matchup. Alexandre Pantoja, the champ, okay? He is undefeated against the top 10. He's beaten everybody in the top 10, I think. And then you have the 11th ranked fighter or the 9th or 8th, whatever he's ranked this week, it doesn't matter. But we have a new contender in the top 10 in Steve Erceg. There's no one else to fight, so you're fighting Steve Erceg. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. The last time we saw Steve Erceg fight, we were having the time of our lives. Let me show you guys the card. This was the card for UFC Fight Night, Gaziv versus Rosenstrike. And we got every single, I say we, it's me. I picked every single winner on the card. That's right. Yes, we missed on some of these parlays, props. We're messing around with some crap. Doesn't matter. MVPs were eating good that night. We got every single pick right. Matter of fact, UFC 299, we hit every single parlay and prop. And we only missed 2 throwaway fights on the prelim. Got everything perfect again. So back-to-back weeks going 11-0, 12-2. What a time to be alive. And on these fights, we saw Steve Erceg give a hell of a 1-2, right? A jab and a cross, right to Matt Schnell's nose. It was over. And I wrote down a note and I said, never, okay? Never pick against Steve Erceg. That's what I wrote. And I said, Steve Erceg is him. This is a great fighter. This is a young man with a wrestling background, a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And he can throw them things with precision. And he just looks the part. He just made his UFC debut less than a year ago. So I look at him and I say, never pick against him. I had no idea his next fight was going to be against the champ, Alexandre Pantoja. So when you go look at this, let's take a look at Alexandre Pantoja's entire career. Yes, he's 34 years old, and he's been beating everyone. Brandon Royval, a very good fighter, just beat him, unanimous decision. Beat Moreno, Brandon Moreno, beat Alex Perez, who we just saw win last week. Royval again, Manel Kape. Okay, here's what I want to say about this entire division. You guys ever been playing like pickup basketball, and there's just one dude who shows up to your park, your gym, your rec center, wherever, and he's just better than everybody there, and he just wins, and these guys just keep playing each other every single day for years, and they're all playing one another, and that guy is the best one on the court. Big fish in little pond, right? That's Pantoja, man. He's been dominating this division, been beating everybody who matters, and they all just kind of fight themselves. You see it here, Moreno. Like it's always a rematch, ×2 or whatever. Now we got fresh blood. Now we got a dude who wasn't on the court. He's been working on his game in Australia, and he's got skills. Steve Erceg has fought nobody. I know this. He's fought nobody. Even he has a rematch against Loga on the regional scene, okay? But even though he comes into the UFC having fought no one, what do I see on film? On film, I see a very skilled fighter. I see somebody who understands the fight game and actually has a skill set that rivals that of the other fighters in the division. I think he's known goods. I really do. This fight against Alessandro Costa tells me a lot. Fighting Costa's on this card. Costa fights very similar to Pantoja. Now, Pantoja is Costa on steroids. But what matters to me is that Steve Erceg has to win one round. He has to win one of the first 3 rounds. Because I believe he's winning rounds 4 and 5. Okay? To put it plainly, Pantoja has the most muscle mass of any 125-pounder, and that is lactic acid all day. That becomes a problem when you're pairing up with each other and you're fighting a guy like Steve Erceg. Erceg's got the height, got the striking. He knows how to use all his weapons. He controls the space. And you're not, if you're Alexandre Pantoja, what you've been able to do to like Moreno or Royval is take him down, get him in a body triangle, and wear him out for a whole round. I don't know if that's happening with Steve Erceg. I think he knows how to get rid of hooks. He knows how to spin in rear mount, right? Shout out to Onama. He just knows what to do in situations and in positions, and I think he's going to be dominant. What he did to Costa, he had like 6 minutes of riding time, 6 minutes of control time on Alessandro Costa. So I'm so impressed with his ability to dominate and to utilize his skill set. Yes, he looks like Michael Scott. Yes, he's from The Office. He's a nerd. He doesn't look like he's going to beat you up. But with his back against the wall, getting this opportunity against a little muscle monster, if Pantoja doesn't get him out of there in the first 2 rounds, you got yourself a problem, in my opinion. Now, Pantoja's a monster. He's beaten everybody, and you shouldn't pick against the champ. I can't show you guys the whole chart because it'll show you all the other picks from the other fights, plus the parlays and whatnot. If you want to see the whole card, get to the Patreon, become a member. I'll show you the whole card. We break down every single fight. You can watch all the videos. I put all the videos in there individually for every single fight. Take good notes. You win a ton of money. Shout out to the MVPs. We do have over 3,500 members, so you can become one. We also have members on YouTube. I think we only have like 300 or 400 members on YouTube. Don't really F with YouTube, but MVPs are MVPs nonetheless. So shout out to them. So a total of about 4,000 people trust what I'm telling you in these fights. They trust what I'm breaking down, and I'm telling you for this fight with these odds, what are the odds right now? What's the sportsbook say? Plus 154? It just feels like Steve Erceg is a viable fighter. I thought the odds should be wider. So should you take Pantoja? It looks like a lot of people agree with me, and they're impacting the odds. I'm going to go with Erceg either way. I trust my eyes. I trust my eyes. When I see a guy fighting, he fights smart, intelligent, a little redundant. It just looks like a dude who knows what he's doing. It really does. I'm encouraged by everything he does. His IQ, his fight IQ shows up on fight night. He looks very focused. He's doing his thing. And then Pantoja, man, he might have an adrenaline dump fighting in front of his home crowd and doing all them damn things. I think he goes out there, throws bombs early, tries to show out and do well, and then he blows himself. And no diddy. I think he just blows out his arms. I think he gases. And I think that 4th and 5th round that he's been able to kind of out-muscle his opponents and get a sloppy takedown. I saw him against Royval. They're like swinging and they're both exhausted, and he gets a takedown, and it's like they cheer like that's going to win it, and nothing else happens after that takedown. It's because he's exhausted, and it's just, I don't think you want to get a takedown on Erceg. I don't think you want to be in those positions with Erceg. I think Erceg knows what to do, and it's going to be a scary situation for these dudes who go out there and try to fight somebody who's been preparing to beat them, but he's been doing it across the ocean for a little bit, you know? I just saw an interview with 12 different professional fighters, and not a single one of them knew Steve Erceg's whole name. They're like, that guy, that Erceg guy, and they never picked him. They picked Pantoja to win the whole fight. Everybody's picking Pantoja. You can pick him too. You can fade me all day. Your record can be better than mine. But I want to warn you, I don't typically miss. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Good luck, y'all. Hope to see you on the Patreon. Peace.